Turn it up, everybody. Turn it to about 5.
Turn it down.
Turn it to about 5.
Please turn it down.
Turn it to a medium rate here. Oh. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Let's go. Live from the studio.
100%.
Not Studio B, the studio.
The studio. At some point, it'll be probably the Red Hot studio.
Yeah, let's go. Then we're all going to want to be
We should put the pressure on them.
Make them build us.
We can just call it the roof.
Oh, man, that would be incredible.
We're up on the roof tonight.
They're on the roof. That does sound great. We are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code RET you see right there. DNVR365. Choose your offer, find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We have a hangover show for you today. And this is a true hangover. Woke up with a headache. Woke up with a bellyache. All of those different things.
What happened to you after the show?
Metaphorically. We might even hear from one Brendan Vogt in the wild at the Nuggets practice. We'll see if we get him later today. But Miroslav, your final day.
You know what? I handled Mexican food way better while we were up 1-0.
Yeah.
And now I feel like awful. Like I cannot handle anything. Like no green chili for me today, I guess. So yeah, we are hangover, and yeah, let's try to dig out of it.
We are hangover indeed. Harrison Wind is here.
I could just like get a bucket of water dumped on my head right now. Like that's what I'm kind of in the mood for.
His hair wouldn't even move.
Like ALS challenge.
I was just going to say to bring attention to ALS.
Yeah, like I'm down for that. Let's do it. Yeah.
Rounding out the show, last but also least, D-Line Co.
Guys, I'm not in a good spot. I'm just not in a good spot. So I can't. I don't know what I'm going to say today. It might be controversial. The more than likely it'll just be kind of depressing. So
we're not going to do that.
Stay tuned.
Everybody lock in.
Let's find out together.
Yeah, let's find out.
We're going to start as we always do, Kale. Let's go to the hangover. Fellas. Right there. Who would Miroslav be in this one? The Asian
Ken
guy.
Jeong.
Yeah, Ken Jeong for sure. Yeah.
It's like the kidnapped
Or
guy.
No, he'd be the baby.
I'm going to start with some things because obviously now you go back, you read a little bit, you digest, you rewatch what parts of it you can.
Oh,
all things I have done so far already today. But here's my first thought about the Nuggets because
You rewatched that game?
Well, I watched some of the breakdowns that people had at different things. And then, I did actually watch the pressers last night and watch the shortened version to kind of see what you see. Here's one thing I think about, because it is just one game. And I know it doesn't feel like that. It feels like there were like roots of this that are a little bit deeper. And I think there are. I really do. We'll get to some of that. But if we break down some of the key things that happened in this game that opened it up, one of them that I think is somewhat important is them bringing Zubac to the bench at the end.
Yeah.
And it happens at the exact moment that all of Denver's non-shooters come into the game. You know, they're bench guys, Russell Westbrook and Peyton Watson. And I just think that they can, the Clippers are understanding that we can afford that, because then we can bring Zubac back in a way, and then now they can't counter that and without playing DeAndre Jordan. So Denver either has to adjust by bringing Jokic out of the game, which would be a really bold adjustment. He's had the same rotation for 2 years. It'd be weird to mix with it now. Or maybe you try to bring shooters in at that point. Michael Porter, questionable to go. Is it possible that you could even play a game with him off the bench so that he's checking in right when Zubac goes out, and now all of a sudden you have a well-spaced lineup with Ben Simmons guarding Jokic? It might be time for Denver just to get that bold, because that's where the wheels fell off, and it wasn't an accident. It was a strategic choice by Ty Lue.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason they were able to do that is because they could... Are you okay?
I need some water.
The reason they were able to do that is that...
I do. I would want to.
Do you want to go get some water real quick?
I was just waiting.
Put out the bat.
Why don't you go get some water?
Okay, I'll go get some water.
Go get some water, come back, and
little water break.
we'll probably still be in segment 1. All right.
Yeah, these seconds are going really slowly.
Just got to do everything yourselves, this company. The reason they're able to do that, though, is because the Clippers think they can guard the Nuggets with Ben Simmons on Jokic.
Yeah.
Because of the Nuggets' lack of shooters and their lack of offensive threats that are on the court during that time. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like a little adjustment from the Clippers, but it has been huge in these last 2 games. I mean, it's been massive. In game 2, it made the Nuggets go to DeAndre Jordan, which if you can get DeAndre Jordan on the floor, that's a win if you're the other team. And then last night, it's when the Clippers kind of blew the game open.
Yeah.
I do hope, to get back to your original question, Adam, that it's possible for them not to start Michael Porter. Like, this is not the time for any kind of politics. The time is for basketball. This time it is like, if they lose game 4, it's over. So they need to figure a way to do it. If Mike is able to play 20 minutes, just play him off the bench and just punish the Clippers for using Ben Simmons as the primary guard for Joker. I think that's a really good idea. I thought that was a good idea for game 3 as well. I was really disappointed that we didn't see DJ in the first stint at the end of first or the beginning of the second quarter, because I thought that's the point when they got killed. So yeah, especially, I mean, we're gonna talk about it later, I guess. But if your front court is just Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, for instance, you don't stand a lot of chances against Zubats as the
Yeah, this might be a
Really
thing where you like win those minutes, but you lose the first 8, which would be worse, right? Yeah. Like so there is, unfortunately with Denver, everything is kind of a compromise here. But even if they don't change up the rotation, the team has to understand that those minutes are so meaningful. That's what was part of what was so frustrating about Peyton Watson was he checks into the game at what was the exact most important moment of the game. It was like right here, they are making a gamble that they can get away with this, in part because of you, in part because they don't think you know what to do on the court around Jokic to space properly. But Denver's making the choice of saying, yes, but you're going to go in and make a defensive impact. Picks up 2 quick fouls, gives up 2 threes from James Harden. It's like, this is a double killer. And now we just lost the Ben Simmons versus Jokic minutes. Jokic has to go out, and now they're going to lay a sledgehammer to a very vulnerable Sim. So Denver just has to be kind of bought into that. But that's one strategic thing.
So, but I think what's interesting is, though, like what's interesting is it's not like the Nuggets have other people to turn to.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Other than like it is kind of weird how like Zeke Naji was good next to Jokic in that role, and then they played him at backup center, and he was unsurprisingly bad, and he was just done. Like, it was kind of interesting how he's just totally done. There's really nobody else to turn to.
Yeah.
So you might just have to make drastic rotation changes because you really don't have any other options.
But again, that's like a Hail Mary. That's because you are right, but it is like, you know what they have to do? They have to play Zeke. And you're like, okay. That's
Zeke,
down to
Well,
that.
I mean, it's not like I think that's going to
Vlatko?
win them the game, but
Well, or Vlatko or one of these. Here's another thing, though, about hangover takes about Adelman. And I think this part's important because while we all feel Nuggets have been blown out before, it's like whatever, but the Nuggets are rattled. And I think David Adelman kind of shared as much in his post game here because there's rotational uncertainty. There's defensive variation that they're throwing out that is stifling the Nuggets. He said, we started chasing things. And I think when he says we, he's kind of saying me. Like, I started chasing things, but our whole team started chasing. Like, we don't know what to do. We got to press buttons now. We got to try this or that. Our aggression wasn't good enough in the adjustments. Don't just show up and think the game's going to be some kind of flow thing, which tells me something that Malone, his language is all intensity and Adelman is all strategy. And I think that has been a real boom for the Nuggets when things were going well. But he's almost saying, like, strategically we entered the fog of war, but we didn't. So the strategy part of this was weakened, but emotionally we didn't have it. And that's why you saw what you saw in this game. And I think, it's funny, now that we're 6 games into this era, you can see we've seen all the strengths of the Adelman approach, but it's possible we're seeing the weakness, that the team had as much strategies as they can get. The other team had a strategic counter, so now it becomes fog of war, battle. But the Nuggets didn't have that in this game. They had no fight on that battlefront.
I was thinking about this all morning as I was driving around. Like, I was thinking about how David Adelman to me looked rattled himself. Like, he looked timid. He looked as though perhaps this was like a little bit more intense than what he was bargaining for. And I did feel like this team again felt leaderless. We were really hopeful as the season was ending, and I'm not saying this is like this is not the final blow, but just what I've seen when things are going badly. Last night being the worst. I mean, everything is so amplified right now, and how could it not be? Because it was total system failure, and you just saw every crack that the Nuggets had just turn into giant chasms and huge canyons. And you're just like, not only is this team not able to figure it out, like they're just not good enough. Like they don't have the right pieces. But I don't think that that's true. I don't believe in my heart that that's true. But I did feel like, you did miss the personality of Michael Malone on the sideline. Granted, I'm not saying even that he is the answer, but that type of personality, the general in the fog of war is the most important, obviously, to like get people settled and working in unison. The problem for the Nuggets, I thought they were getting beat in every which way, but they were getting beat in thinking ways, which is tough when they're trying to find their heart also. Like it just is a recipe for absolute disaster. They really have to and I also felt like the team was just kind of falling apart. It just didn't feel like a team, which is at this stage of the year is just an absolute death blow. It just, everybody knows what they're supposed to do, but they don't know what they're supposed to do in relation to the other four guys in the court all the time. And the Clippers were in perfect sync. So it was just all things added up. Like, where they are now represents the logical end of their approach that they took. Like it just wasn't, it's not the right approach. It's just it. Like they have to figure something out, whether it's big or small. I do kind of think I think a lot of it is just confidence. It just is always that way. I don't know if you can imbue these young guys with enough confidence now to get them to play where we need them to, but I saw Jokic very frustrated several times with breakdowns and coverages and getting easy baskets at the rim and just like stuff that he just throws his hands up like now like we're still talking about this like Peyton, Mike, really, like we can't do anything, we can't counteract this. So it was super disappointing, and I don't know, whatever, like fuck it, we write the report, effort we ball, but it's not looking good right now. But I was most taken aback by the lack of leadership.
Yeah.
Damn. Man, I'm going to kill myself.
No, well, when you talk about the fog of war, here's another one for you, Miroslav. You're right.
I got some zingers I'll drop later. Don't worry.
Here's Jokic sort of expressing the same sentiment, the fog of war. One says, I don't even remember what happened. They are taking away what we're good at, and we need to find a way to get those looks that we are good at. I mean, that's an admission of, give them credit. The Nuggets, to me, have been disoriented identity-wise. Like, they almost don't know who they are, and it's happened really quickly. And I credit the Clippers for that, but it's also a weakness of Denver. But this is even Jokic is kind of saying, like, we don't really know what levers to pull at the moment. And the ones that we're supposed to be good at, our core stuff, we can't, because they're not allowing us to.
I believe Joker is really engaged, but he's also conceding to the notion that he needs to figure this out. He feels he's the one that needs to figure this out. Of course, David Alderman is there to help with the X's and O's, but he feels like he needs to find something new we haven't seen so far, because everything the Nuggets tried so far was countered really nicely from the Clippers. The first two games, the Nuggets played at a really high energy level. So this is why the Nuggets still were able to stay, competitive in those two games and win one of those. But in this game 3, everybody knows what they're supposed to do until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And they really got punched in the face and didn't respond well. The Clippers know really well where are the breaking points of Nuggets defense. And I didn't check the numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Clippers offensive rating was probably 105, 110, not more than that. They don't need more than that because they know they can defend the Nuggets really well. And it's just like they had a easy paced game, and especially in the second half when they already had the lead, they were just running the clock and just enjoying the fruits of their work and just having an easy end to the game.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, some more hangover takes before we get into some what ifs. We have some what ifs.
Start drinking again.
I know, dude. These are hangover takes from the Jonestown Kool-Aid.
Sometimes you have to name the problem before you can solve it. We got to name it. We got to name it.
Listen, I'm ready to do the work.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
This is like a hangover take after you broke up with your college girlfriend.
This feels like an intervention
College girlfriend.
It feels like a basketball god intervention.
That was very
that's,
specific.
that's speaking from experience.
All right, there you go.
This is the same mood I was in. Guys, if you need tickets to concert shows, sporting events, check out the Game Time app.
Yo, you know what you should use it on?
What's that?
Rockies game tonight.
We're going to the
Friday.
Rockies game. Friday Rooftop
Club.
Club. See you there. I know D-Line's going. I know Miroslav's going. You can get tickets for very cheap on the Game Time app. That's where we got them, of course. Rockies tickets, Nuggets, Avs, whatever you want, concert shows, sporting events. Check out the Game Time app. You can get seat views right from your seats, all in pricing, zone deals, lowest price guarantee, also Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Game Time, it's the best ticketing app out there. It's the one we use. So download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Also, if you need any new floors, Empire Today, they are your guys.
Hell yeah.
They only do floors. It's the only thing that they're focused on. So they're the most knowledgeable, most trusted floor people out there.
Yeah, dude. And what better sponsor for us here at Rock Bottom on the absolute floor?
We need a good floor. Yeah.
We hit the floor very hard and we left it dented,
But it still looks
scratched.
good.
Well, I mean, it wasn't an Empire floor. We have to call these people to redo the floor that just,
I got you. Yeah.
it was bad.
Yeah. But you can call them and you can get a $350 off your new floors when you hit them up and use the code DNVR. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DNVR. You heard that right. A $350 discount with the code DNVR. They're flooring experts. They'll bring the showroom right to you. Pick the right flooring, the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house with Empire Today. $350 off with the code DNVR. Empire Today /DNVR for full details.
All right, we are back here. Segment 2 of DNVR Nuggets. Throw us a like. Brendan Vogt did speak with David Adelman today at practice, and we'll be calling in shortly, so we'll get to hear that, which will be nice. I want to see what the vibe is around the team.
Yeah.
So Jokic,
Hopefully a better vibe than on this set.
this very panel.
I know, dude. Like we're not built for this.
We're not built.
Yeah. So can you imagine what people would be saying about us if they were like analyzing our podcast?
They were like,
Like these guys have no hope in game 4.
they're like, did Eric?
They
even-
want to end this season right now.
Yeah, they're like, did Eric prep for the show at all?
They were
Did he
so
watch
unprepared
any
out
film?
there. So unprepared.
Yeah.
Did you even look at the podcast notes?
You see Adam throwing his hands up. He was grinding tape.
Yoke's in puzzle mode, and he's trying to figure out whatever it is that they're throwing at him. And they are a great coach with a versatile lineup. It's not like most series. Every series has simple to solve. This team can only do a handful of things. To complex. I think the Clippers are more on the complex side just because of their positional versatility and the fact that they have Zubats, who's really defending him well one-on-one in the few cases. I will say, Jokic was asked by our own Brendan Vogt about whether or not he should be more aggressive, and he was, as far as you could help, you were watching with me, I think offended almost by the question. Jamal Murray was also asked, should Jokic be aggressive? And he's like, he is aggressive. He's being very aggressive. He has 3 guys on him. So he at least, both of those guys are pushing back on this idea that Jokic just needs to plow through the wall.
I mean, can you imagine the situation when Michael Porter is not playing tomorrow? How many guys do the Clippers throw at Joker? That's
Oh man,
Somehow
4,
6.
I guess.
What a second.
Well, except
coming
for-
on as well.
Except for you're not thinking about Zeke playing. So
Well, yeah, he said non-shooters.
sorry.
Zeke's a shooter. So,
Yeah,
yeah, wow.
sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think there's something here. I mean, here's the other thing Marie said though. Here's what I'll say. There's a lot of frustration, it seems like, on the team. 2 guys that I think Yoke's supremely frustrated. He seems very existentially frustrated, to be honest with you, which is a part of why we're all a little frightened, because you don't want him to feel that way. But he also seems like still resolute in some way, like wants to figure this out. Jamal Murray actually seems extremely resolute in his post-game commentary. One of the things he said is, we had some adversity today, and now it's time to bounce back. And I just like it. Like, there is something of like, there's the frustration Murray is feeling is almost like already passed through him, filtered through him to, we have to do this now. We have to bounce back. And I like it. We got to settle down and trust each other. We got to play more together, trust the pass a little bit more. I mean, he is signaling here something that we seem to know. Forget the strategy. Does the team trust each other? And are they tough in the ways that they're willing to run through a wall and just make it work? And I think they were in games 1 and 2. For some reason, they were not at all in games 3, and that's jarring. But I think Murray's at least seems to me like he's trying to hold it together of like, guys, we took one big step in the wrong direction. But it's like, take a step back. Like, let's come back to this place and we can get there. That to me was his message in the post-game commentary.
This is kind of how Jamal's been all season, actually. Like, 3-game losing streak, he said we're fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, shots aren't falling, he said we're fine. Like, even with his own game, he's pushed back on it. A lot of stuff about, like, you've been a slow starter, like the injuries, up and down play, and he's always been like, I'll be fine. Like, you guys know what I can do. So I like to hear that from him. It works if they're able to bounce back in game 4. Yeah. If they put up another performance like they did in game 3, it's like, okay, what you've been saying all year was bullshit.
Right.
Write the report.
Write the report.
Sorry. So... that's kind of been Jamal's approach all
Happy
season.
Birthday, Cal. It's Cal's birthday.
So if you missed the contract because of the
for all the
reports,
reports.
quite a few reports.
This is a lot of reports that you have to do on your
We're
birthday.
sabotaging Cal.
I feel like I have to create another.
Come on, you just say it in Serbian.
Yeah, but that's been Jamal's kind of line of thinking all season. Like, we're fine. We got to bounce back. Like, we're not losing it. We're here.
Yeah, I am kind of with you though, Adam. Like, that is what you at least want to hear in this situation. Like, that hints to the correct mindset in that of, yes, it is one game. He's not, he's supremely confident in, at least he's posturing as such that he's supremely confident in his and everybody else's abilities. And I don't know why you wouldn't be. Like, we're all down right now, but we're wholly reliant on this squad. Like, we can't do anything. Like, we can talk about it, and it's just nice to know that they feel some kind of solace, I guess.
I have not heard the Zach Lowe report that there were unusual tensions. What I will say is I've heard this as well. So you didn't want to say it, but if it's out there already, I have heard that there have been some frustrations between games 2 and 3. And again, this doesn't mean anything. Like, I think people will run with this and are like, oh my God, what happened to this? That. I think it just means that the Nuggets the margin is so razor thin. There's all these moving parts, and something, maybe the team was a little frustrated after the game or this or that, and it led to some tensions going into game 3, and they didn't handle it well.
Well, also in game 3, they got off to a great start too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
exactly.
We did hear there were tensions, but like, they also got off to the best start they had all series in game 3.
So there's, so whatever. I will say I give Jokic the pass for being triple teamed and double teamed. And, for me, I'm like, I don't know that he just needs to barrel through. We're running out of options, so we might as well try it. If this next game gets off to a slow start, I expect Jokic in the third quarter to just be like, all right, I'm shooting 8 times in a row. But I give Jamal Murray kind of deserves in some ways that same thing. Some of this is he is creating the clog spacing, but some of it is they're keyed in on those two. It's the other guys that aren't. And so even Jamal is right now having to swim upstream, in my opinion, against this defense.
The trust is the issue. I trust Jamal. I trust Nikola in these situations. I trust Aaron Gordon. I'm just not sure if he's compromised or not physically. I'm not completely sure about that. I don't really trust a lot of other guys, though.
Or any.
Or any. Yes. So that's the difficult part. And they need to find a way to start trusting each other again. And that's not going to be easy, especially, after a bad loss. I hope they would have some kind of like a team-only meeting or something. Just try to wake that beast, per se.
The beast woke up.
Tap him on the shoulder.
Like, beast needed 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
I was like the beast this morning. Alarm went off. I was like, no, 10 more minutes. I'll lose game 3.
Bro, I can't live in a world where my graphic gets 1 alarm clock.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Sad. That's so sad.
Wake the beast is really just 1 alarm clock. Before we get to our next break, I have some what ifs for us here, okay? And just to kind of frame and bring us back. D-Line, you might like these. You might appreciate it. Let's just start with the easiest one. What if the Nuggets win Game 4?
Oh, hell yeah.
What if they win Game 4? It's 2-2. You come back home for a Game 5. You did something that there is strength that is built from facing adversity and overcoming it. The Nuggets had a lot right now, a lot of adversity just in this last game. So it's like, okay, and everyone's, they're down out because it sure feels that way. But if you respond to it, that also says something about you, to yourself, of like, we handled a really big punch and we came back from it. So what if they win Game 4?
If they win Game 4, I'm going to have a great flight back to Serbia because it's going to happen during my flight. And you have a series then. Yeah. Then we can talk us into actually having a real shot at this series. And it's as we mentioned last night, this is like the 7th consecutive biggest game of the season.
Yep.
So let's get one of those now. And I think the Nuggets would not have like a real momentum in that situation. But you know what? You could not say the same thing about the Clippers either.
You're right. They wouldn't have momentum, but neither would the Clippers. Yeah. Right now, the Clippers have momentum. So you would just destroy theirs without gaining it. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. I was going to say, it'd be funny. It's like, man, would we stand a chance if the series was tied?
2-2, and we have home court. Would we stand a chance?
Could we imagine a world?
The team kind of needs it though, and also you just think about what would it take to get there? It would take probably them working together, which is again would be part of it, and it would probably take a level of trust maybe in somebody else. It might be a thing that the Nuggets look around and say, it's not Russ, it's not CB, it's not Jamal. Like, I'm not saying any one of those guys, but one of them. It might be that it's like, well, they did it without CB, and that's what we have to do going forward. We did it without Russ, did it without Mike, did it without whoever, and it's like, that's just who we are. That's who everybody come together. And if you're not in this group, either observe as a supporter or just get out of the way. And the Nuggets might need a little bit of that in this next game of like, you know what, we could use you, but you're not helpful. Get out of the way.
Yeah. They're just going to have to trust each other. I mean, like they did in Game 2, and it worked out then. Or, I mean, in Game 1.
It worked out in Game 2 also.
Yeah, and it almost worked out in Game 2.
It just did not work last game.
Yeah, right.
At all.
Right.
At all. We need a return to the first 2 games. It's pretty simple. Like, they need to just do the things that were working, which Jokic was playing well. Aaron Gordon was super involved. They were getting good defensive communication. They were just connected. That was really what it comes down to. The team was connected. Something about perhaps it was the wall. Maybe it was the horse hats. Perhaps it was the toilets. I don't know what it was, but they were not connected last night. So, and it so just here's a little behind the wall or behind the scenes for everybody. We are situated on top of a like a workout studio. We don't actually know what it is. It's like this weird it's this weird
moaning.
Like, so this used to be my office, and this is an old building, and there are like wooden floors, and so every now and again you hear sounds that are not sex sounds, but they're not sex sounds. We don't know what it is, but there's
there's a man doing it.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like
deep breathing exercise.
No, it sounds like a pregnant man giving birth to.
Is this the moment?
So what's happening now is the Nuggets are being reborn below us,
right in our studio.
Yes. So whatever, like. Very plausible, but we know what this is like. We all know what this is like when the Nuggets get their faces beat in, and we're all like, "Man, it's over forever," and then it's just not.
You know what I think happened last night? Tyronn Lue.
I hope you guys can hear this at home.
By the way,
which is even funnier.
I think Tyronn Lue was waiting for David Adelman to blink first. David Adelman tried to adjust to Kawhi Leonard's great game and overloaded on him, and we got a bunch of threes out of it. And this is the hardest show to do ever.
You guys can't hear it, but there's literally a guy downstairs
going,
guy.
No.
Over and over again.
No, it's not that. No, it's not that. It's
no,
it's dark. It's deeper and more.
I'm sure you had a great point, Miroslav.
Yeah.
But I can't do this.
No, no notes. No notes.
No.
So I
take a break?
totally get what.
Should we take a break while this guy gets it out of his
Yeah,
system?
yeah, yeah.
We need a break. Anyway.
Yeah, dude.
We'll circle back to it. Let me know exactly what we're talking about, even on the other side.
What if?
We gotta take a break.
Why is Lakers in 5 back and just getting allowed to say all this shit?
Fans him like 4 times.
Guys, Volo is Denver's most popular provider of adult social sports leagues, pickup games, and events. Sports offered include soccer, volleyball, pickleball, kickball, basketball, cornhole, and many more. Playing.
Still going. What if the entire workout is just this?
What do you mean? What if your
45-minute
full
deep
work day
breathing
was
session.
this? This was my office.
Playing with Volo is a great way to meet new people, make friends, and be social. Stay or get more active in a fun way. You can mix up your after-work routine, and they have leagues all over the city: Lodo, Rhino, Highland, City Park, Cherry Creek, South Broadway, and more. It's still going. Players can sign up as free agents, small groups, or with full teams. And all ability levels and backgrounds are welcome to join. Use the code DNVR10 for $10 off any Volo Denver league. That was the thing.
That was a big thing.
I feel like he's trolling us
He's
now.
definitely trolling us.
Watching the show.
Yeah, he's
Shout out to our friends at Red Hawk Roofing
Or
as
this-
well. Denver's best roofers.
going through his hangover takes downstairs.
Denver's best roofers have joined the DNVR team. These guys are. You guys gotta stop laughing. You guys gotta stop laughing because I'm just gonna laugh at it. Okay. You've seen these guys everywhere. We can't do that.
You see these guys everywhere. You know Red Hawk Roofing. They had a sponsored watch party here at the
do you not put
DNVR
the
bar
camera
last
down?
night. These are our absolute homies. You know all about them. They sponsored the Red Hawk Roofing Big Takeaway. They're an integral part of not only the Nuggets experience, but the DNVR Nuggets experience and the DNVR experience in general. These guys love the Nuggets. They love DNVR.
They were at the bar last
They've
night.
gone
Did the
through
watch party last night.
Dude, they have raised the roof on their own business. They're now sponsors of the Nuggets. They're going so big time, and they still come back and spend time with us little guys every now and again to have a party. We love these guys. They give you free estimates. You can trust them. They've got 1 billion reviews. I mean, like, you can't maintain a business like this in a place like Denver, Colorado if you don't do the business the right way, and they're only growing. So if you have any kind of roof issues, what's the number, Harrison Dino?
720.
Yep, that's how it starts.
720-771-8921.
Yeah, redhawkroofing.com. Hit those fellas up.
All right, here we go. Segment 3. We should get Brendan Vogt from practice.
be able to finish
I don't
the
know
show.
how. We're gonna have to power through. No podcast team has ever done one while these erotic
The
sounds.
Nuggets have been going through adversity.
Is that Vogt?
This is adversity.
Thank God.
Please, let's bring in Vogt. This
and
is actually great.
back to my point.
Presented by Bet365, by the way. Voting time live from Inglewood.
Yeah. But back to my. Like, these are adult sounds we're hearing.
Vogt, just so you know, we're in the studio, and below us currently for the last 10 minutes has been a man making sounds over and over again. That's what we're talking about. How are you?
I'm good. I actually do have follow-up questions on that. For context, we are here at our hotel in the marina of Malibu. No, this is the Nuggets hotel. This is the team
Are you in
hotel.
Marina Del Rey?
We are, yeah, we are.
Dude, these guys got
And,
yachts set up behind. Look at this man, dude.
For Vogt. What the hell, man?
Again,
Big boat
just to be
vote,
clear, just to be clear, none of this is for me. You're getting as much of this as I am, but that's fine.
Hey, Vogt, you want to hear my impression of a foghorn, of boat foghorn? Sorry, that was
pretty good,
not
man.
for you.
No, that's good. Anyway. I do hope you guys figure out the source of the noise. That sounds disturbing and
It's a-
distracting. I'll do my best.
It's a man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a man.
A large man.
Well, I don't know. You could have a good big diaphragm.
Just walk us through. So you were at practice. What was, first of all, man, you got to take us behind the scenes. What was the spirits like at the team right now? Because we're concerned.
Yeah, this was a setup presser with Adelman after a film session. The team actually just got here. We walked in at the same time as them. They weren't too chatty. So I don't know if I have a great feel for how the team is doing. We did speak with Adelman I will say my personal read on the locker room that I have been in both in Denver and in Los Angeles, really since the Adelman change, it's tense, guys. There is a tension in the Nuggets locker room. Just to nothing to report, just in general terms. I mean, they've been asked to hold each other accountable. With that comes a little bit of tension. And frankly, it's been a lot of tension. And that is something that David Adelman spoke about today. And I'll give you that quote now. He said, "I don't mind the tension. Guys shouldn't be giving each other a hug after a game like that." Yeah, there is tension right now. Yeah, guys are going at it a little bit. But through that, there can be some really good conversations. And he felt like there were today in the film session. So a candid answer there, kind of shedding some light on what I'm trying to describe. These guys have gone at each other a little bit. But the hope is that as a team, that's something that produces, something better on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, something that, David Adelman's been very open about. He wants more communication, because it seemed like that was something that was fading under Mike Malone. Guys just weren't talking. So he's been saying he wants guys. He hasn't said this exactly, but he's been inferring that he wants guys to go at each other. I think that can have its positives and negatives, though.
No notes.
Harrison, that's literally the exact question I asked him to get this quote, and he said, "Yeah, it does breed tension, but that a good team, guys, comes out better on some of the points that the Warriors have gone through. Certainly stuff that could break their locker rooms, but they always seem to go through tension and come out some sort of more mature version of themselves. The Nuggets are going to stay together. As a group, he did say he felt like it was a good film session. Guys owned the lack of physicality. I would imagine it would be hard not to in that film session. He said there were some productive convos. Ultimately, their physical nature has to geek up. Admin said it wasn't good enough yesterday. Here's a quote: "Tactics and schemes don't win you playoff series. They can help." He thinks they need to change their physicality and mentalities. We have to set the tone, meet the game, and meet the challenge. A little bit of analysis for me here, guys. I just think it's kind of interesting. David really juxtaposed and presented as an X's and O's guy, as opposed to the, I think, traditional old school raw stuff of Michael Malone. We are hearing a lot of the same things from Adam here. We made them. We didn't cute them. It is about some of the sort of take a deep breath on offense, execute. So
you're chopping
David
up
David Adelman very much
not working here.
guy.
It's your stream is for whatever reason just not very good. Marina Del Rey, I don't know what happened.
You were doing a good job.
You were doing so good.
Yeah, the notes were good.
You look great with those
That's-
Celtics colors. On
He
your hat.
looks great.
David coming through.
He looks great. He sounds great. It doesn't sound good, though, also at the same time. Real juxtaposition.
I mean, the one thing I'll tell you is that he is echoing the core thing that's a concern, which is the Nuggets have not had enough time to ramp up and be great. So now you look at, okay, what margins can you win? Toughness. Well, they lost a little bit of that in the last game. They were not very tough. Togetherness. It sounds like they're actually less together now than they were 4 days ago. Perhaps even in a way that's more alarming, although perhaps not. Could just be a little thing. So you have some of the stuff where you're like, well, they're going to have to just win on execution. Well, I'm not counting on that because they basically are a new team that just has come together. So, some concerning stuff, but that's the challenge. I do like that he met with them before practice, though, because the practice is the reset. So now we just know what Adelman's challenge is right now.
How can they replicate what they did over the first 7 minutes of that game?
To me, they can replicate it easily. That was their ATO. That's what they planned on doing. They came out and they executed the way that they were able. What they need to be able to figure out is how to respond, as has been said over and over and over and over and over. Once they get punched in the mouth, once the Clippers just start raining hellfire from three and just not missing a single one, and you're just like, we heavily outplayed the Clippers in the first quarter and have nothing to show for it. And not only that, we're down 6 or whatever because they just, sometimes guys just make shots. They just have to figure out, it's the trust stuff. And then once it fell off the tracks, like it was off the tracks.
Oh, it wasn't
bro.
coming back. Yeah.
Was not coming back. So they can do that, and it's just I don't know, man. These guys got to work out. I agree with Adelman in some senses. Like some part of me hears him saying, like, "Yeah, I like that they're arguing." I'm like, I don't like that. That's bad.
I know.
But I also do agree with the premise that tough conversations start fiery, generally speaking, and it just kind of gets the bad feelings out and allows for real communication to happen afterwards. And I do, in many instances of this on this Nuggets squad, trust that is the relationship that these guys have cultivated over this time. But not everybody has been there the whole time. And like there are other people in the locker room that I don't trust in this situation.
Right.
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but.
I mean, another factor in all this is just, and there have been some reports even today about this, like Michael Porter Jr. is really hurt. Vogt reported on that last night. Aaron Gordon still seems like he's really hurt.
Well,
and like that just might be the reality of the situation.
Yeah, but they started the game with a really great game plan with their starters, and Joker had like 7 assists in the first 9 minutes of the game. And then when the subs started going in, it just fell apart. So I mean, it's obvious that Tyronn Lue has more options to go to than David Adelman, but also his in-game adjustments were just more fruitful than Adelman's were.
Let it go. Just let it go.
Sorry.
Let it go. Just pretend you're a young child and you hear noises coming from your parents' bedroom. You just go to bed. You just go to your bedroom. You you play video games. You pretend it never happened.
One thing I will say about the Nuggets, though, in that, because some of this was the defensive, fouling and this or that. Some of it was Aaron Gordon comes down in transition. You're down 7, I think, at the time. You need a basket. Like, hey, we got to stop the bleeding. This is a game. He comes down in transition, 0 pass, pulls and pops from the top of the 3. And it's like, man, that's the shot.
Everybody did that. There was that segment.
Russell Westbrook had one. Offensive rebound, dribbles behind the 3-point line, turns around and shoots a 3. And you're like,
this is the stuff where you're like, you are getting rattled. This is not your game. They are hitting a bunch of threes. That doesn't mean you need to also hit a bunch of threes. Like, I realize that maybe you're doing the math problem in your head in real time, but like you can sort of find the right shot. You don't have to just be like, all right, well, I guess it's on 3-point shooting competition.
It's rhythm. It's literally rhythm. Like if we're all clapping together and
Let's
then
try.
one person
Let's try.
throws it off, it like takes a second to come back and be like, all right,
Find the beat.
we have to
Yeah.
like
Go
right,
find the
everybody
beat.
We're gonna
back
learn that.
together.
We're gonna see that in real time when people start to say, "Let's go Rockies," and there's like 8 people here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it takes a little bit where everyone's like, no, on our rhythm, your rhythm or
Oh,
ours?
a 2-person
Hold on,
wave
yeah.
that just never gets started.
And that's kind of what happened in that quarter is you had like 7 straight terrible shots and
Terrible.
the rhythm was so fractured. And meanwhile, the Clippers kind of smelled, they like sharks. There was like blood in the water. They're out of rhythm right now. Pounce, and they did, and it was 23-2. I have a one for you here. I'll start with you, Miro. What if MPJ and Russ can't play?
Oh God!
Michael Porter after the game said, "I didn't help the team tonight, and I want to give it a go. I'm fighting through it, but it might be better that I don't play if I can't help the team." So what if he doesn't play, and then Russ kind of mysteriously out with a foot injury? What if he can't go either?
I mean, the Nuggets don't have a lot of guys. If they lose 2 of their key guys, I would just, I hate myself for saying this. I would just start Peyton at the 3 or at the 4, whatever. And then your first sub is Pickett, I think. So after Pickett, you will have to play Julian. And I guess
I would much rather play Zeke than Julian.
Zeke.
Me too, actually.
Yeah,
Much rather.
it's true. Yeah, but you need to have some lineup versatility, like
Or Vlatko or something. I have no idea.
7 guys is not enough.
Is there any world though, Harrison, where maybe it's like a positive thing, even if it's just for a game? One, they don't know what you're doing. Like if you're playing guys, they're like, well, I don't know what's going on here. And then 2, you are talking about Mike and Russ, 2 of the guys that contribute the most but hurt the most, and sometimes in disproportion. Is there anything too like, all right, we have a crazy lineup and it's more orderly, if not nearly as talented?
Absolutely. And David Adelman had this quote today, and I'm sure Vogt said this, but we didn't hear him say it. He said, we're going to take a look at our rotation. We may play different people, see who can impact the game with how they're guarding and how we're trying to guard. Maybe some other guys out there can bring a different energy. It's all hands on deck. And maybe some of that has to do with the injuries. Maybe that is just changing up the rotation too. The Westbrook one obviously seems like an easier fix because you can just plug Pickett in there. And like we've seen that look. It's been okay. With Porter, I mean that's tougher because you're just maybe you can get better defensively, but you're losing a shooter. And like offense is really where the Nuggets have like mostly struggled. It seems like in this series so far. That one, I don't know, man. I don't think there's like a real answer out there to replace that.
Well, we have to take a break, so we'll continue this on the other side. I do have some more what ifs for you, though. I think one or two of these are going to be true in Game 4. I don't know which ones, but we'll find out.
Okay.
Together.
Guys, with Toyota, let's drive into the playoffs. Enter now for your shot at winning incredible prizes, including playoff tickets, a private suite experience for you and your friends, a flyaway adventure to see a Nuggets playoff game on the road, or a chance to drive away in an all-new epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. The link is in our description. Don't miss out on an opportunity to be a part of the Nuggets playoff frenzy. Again, the link is in our description. You can hit that QR code right there on the screen to enter. It's free. Just sign up. Drive to the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores. Go to our Nuggets road playoff game, or let me say that again. Or you can maybe drive away in an all-new epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores: AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. Also, shout out to Bet365, the app that we use to bet. Bet365 is an official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. Has anybody seen the line for Game 4 yet?
5.5.
5.5?
Well, that's what it opened.
I'm going to look at it right now. Bet365, you can hit that QR code right there on the screen. Download the app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Bet along with us.
It's up to 6.
Pre-game before Game 4 tomorrow. It's now
early
Clippers
money, the dumb money.
6.
The early money's the dumb money. It's
yeah,
on,
everybody
it's
knows
on
that. Yeah,
Clippers.
just wait till the Sharks get in there. They get in there late. Bet365, they have an early payout offer for basketball. If your team goes up by 20 points, you get an instant payout on straight bets, parlay selections. And you can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose, and you sign up with the code DNVR365. Deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, back here, final segment. One thing
One quick, I'm sorry. I sent a tweet to Kale. I got the playoff shirts in. Physically, they're here. They're at the bar.
Yeah, peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter jelly, strike gold, and we also got the Jamal Murray shirt. I realize no one wants to rep the Nuggets right now, but if you do, you should come to the bar. You can get them in your hands. They're here, and they're beautiful. They're glorious.
Something's changed. Like that sounds like a goose now.
Yeah. Well, I think he's working on a different part of his thorax.
Yeah. He's coming from a different area of the body.
You know, my daughter, my youngest Ellie, she wears all my old DNVR shirts down to bed. That's her. That's kind of cool. I actually love that.
I'm telling you, like one of the things that like really made me want to do this, and I like have such a passion for it, is like I went through my dad's old shirts, and like there are cool old shirts that just work forever, and I kind of have modeled some of the shirts we do off of them, and it's just like it was like an old Ringer tee, and it's like the way it feels, and it's like a cool thing.
It's a cool thing.
So it's like make sure they last for a long time.
Them Dada shirts.
Nice.
All right, a couple more what ifs for you, Miroslav. I'll start with you. What if the Nuggets are down 3 going into the fourth quarter? They play every other night now from here on out. Yoke's been running out of steam, but they're down 3 heading into the fourth quarter. Where do you go?
I don't care, man. Joker needs to play.
He's just going to play the whole
Joker
second
needs
half.
to play. He already said on the press conference that he does not feel fatigued.
Did you guys see this?
This is the time to play.
Ramona Shelburne asked him about how do you deal with the physicality? Like
Ramona, Jokic respect her too.
Physically, how do you deal with this series when it's so tough? And he goes, "Is it really though?" That's what he says. He goes, "Is it really?" He really says it like that. I was just like, he's like, "We had 2 days off. It's a game. Like, is it really
love
strenuous.
that.
I was like, hell yeah, Yoke.
That's why I approach everything in this office. Someone's like, "We got to make all these changes." I'm like, "Do we?
really?
We gotta you gotta push a couple buttons at your desk. Is that what you got to do? Okay, is it that tough?"
So yeah, he's not a coal miner. So yeah, I guess he can handle 12 consecutive minutes, especially when you consider how long the playoff timeouts.
I know,
are.
especially if they're going to use their challenges as
Fourth
liberally
quarter,
as they
come
did in
on.
the fourth quarter last night.
That's true. Yoke played 40 minutes over the course of 4 hours.
I know.
Yeah.
That game
I
took
think he
4
can do
hours
it.
to happen.
I think he can do it.
I actually think he's more frustrated by the breaks than by the actual
you
play
might be
time.
right.
Yeah. Well, maybe keeping him out of the timeouts and how frustrated he's been in those huddles.
Dude,
like, less
It's possible
of
that Yoke just has rested in the second half the last time of the series. That he will not rest again in the second
I think
half.
that's fine. I honestly do.
I love Nikola Jokic so much. This is this type of stuff where you have to explain this away for other athletes like Jamal and stuff. You have to be like, guys, he's a human being. We can't take. And then Jokic is like, what? Like, Jokic, because he talks about it the way the fans do. You're like, I don't want to hear about a professional athlete being tired. You're like, guys, come on. Could you do it? And then Jokic is like, I don't want to talk about another professional athlete getting tired.
You got to see his face though when he does. He's like, "Is it really? Though? Like, is it really?" He's
Did you-
like, because she's giving the question
did
the
you
same
though?
way you're saying, very reverent, like. You're going out there.
You've
you're
got
running up and
Zubac,
down the
you
court.
got Ben Simmons,
It's physical.
All these triple teams, quadruple teams.
So Yoke
the
just
physicality of the NBA playoffs.
Yoke's rolling his
really
eyes.
though?
Like,
He's
is it really though?
he's like, but did you die?
Did you die? What if Jokic takes 12 shots in quarter one, but the game is tied?
Well, fine.
Keep going.
Probably good with that.
Just
yeah.
keep going. Just keep firing away. That means you're on pace for 48 shots.
Beautiful.
How many did he make?
It doesn't matter. This game's tied.
I'm going to guess 12.
You just stick to the
That's not a
script?
good sign, though. If he made all 12 and they're still tied.
Oh, they're still tied. That is a terrible.
All right. What about this? What if the Nuggets let Kawhi get his, but no one else? This is like you almost go back to game
Yep.
2 game plan.
Yeah, now it doesn't seem like that was that bad.
And hey, I'll take an L on this one. This was my this is how you stop Kawhi, and it turns out Batum is the greatest shooter that's in the series.
My
somehow.
God,
Norman Powell got off.
stuff
Chris
like that.
Dunn was on fire. It's like really some of
Various
this
stuff.
is like whatever, but
Yeah, I'd be okay with that again.
Definitely. Like it can't be Harden and Kawhi.
it has to be one of
It
the
can't, and
other.
it can't be everyone getting 20 points either. That not great. Yeah.
The thing that sucks about this is, let's say it's Denver's game plan to let Kawhi go for 40, 45 points. I mean, because he's really good and Denver can't stop him. And that's the game plan. If you lose that one,
Yeah.
then the narratives get so ridiculous where nobody understands, how these things work. But it really might be that is the better option for them. But if they lose, it's like, Kawhi is so much better than Jokic. Any others do you guys want to think about? Any other what ifs? for
What
this one?
if Jokic and Murray play like playoff Jokic and Murray?
Well, they win.
Okay.
probably
Next
win.
segment. Keep it going.
The question for me is just, can they, given the spacing? Because as much as I'm talking about Jokic this way, I do think it affects Murray too. It affects both of them. The Clippers are only worried about two things. They're not worried about any other part of the Nuggets offense, and it shows. You got 5 guys stopping one action, and then you live with the results. Do we have any super chats today, Kale? Man, that feels right.
Yeah. We'll send you a refund, sir.
Big EU. Harrison, your player
Oh, yeah.
rankings pre-series were very homerish.
I could not agree more with this. Harrison, you did an awful job.
Man.
Harrison, you need to take a larger view. Big market
Let's
Harrison.
redo it. Let's redo it real quick, though.
Clippers' top 4 players should have been 4 of the top 6 in the series. Yeah.
Has Jokic
I
been
was
the best
kinda
player in
off
the series?
on
so
the
far?
offense.
Well, hold on. Who has?
He was.
Oh, actually,
He
probably,
was.
yeah, because
Kawhi's
it's been
only
every
been
day.
good
It's
one
been every
game.
game. All right, Jokic number
You're right.
1.
He might not have been the best player in any one game, but he has been the best player overall. Because Harden was phenomenal in game 1, so was Jokic. Kawhi was better than him in game 2, but Jokic was probably second best player. And then in this third one,
Jokic's been the best player in the
I
series.
mean, he's averaging like a 24-point triple-double.
Yeah, he has been the best player in the series.
You're right. Kawhi has been able to float in 2 out of the 3 games, and we're like, it's Kawhi. Here, come on. All right, who's second best? I'll be honest, man. This is also tough.
I think it's
Harden.
Kawhi.
I think it's Harden.
I kind of think it's Harden too.
I don't know.
I think it's
Kawhi was
I think it's
so
Kawhi
dominant
after that.
in game 2, though.
Yeah, like I
Either
think
way, it
it's-
doesn't
it's-
matter. I think 2, 3, 4 goes Harden, Kawhi, Zubac
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
comfortably.
Easily, man.
Yeah.
And then
easily.
if you go after that, to be honest, then it even gets a little tough there. I think Jamal,
But this
just
is-
based on workload, but you could easily say a Batum has been so impactful at the right moment. Dunn has been.
Batum
and
last
Dunn.
night,
Dunn has been
12
incredible.
points, 4-6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks,
that's a
plus
huge-
23 in 27 minutes.
Did a little bit of everything. Norman
insane.
Powell, like I don't know, the third best Nugget has been the 8th best player, and like AG was dominant in game.
I mean,
one.
if we're ranking the top 10, we can probably just confirm there are 2 Nuggets on there.
maybe 3, AG was great in
AJ
game
was
one.
really good to game one.
He
Game
was.
one. I don't know how you weigh that.
But I just want to. I mean, again, we all agree Harrison by himself did a bad job on that.
Only me. I was the only one.
We just have to come to terms with that. But I will say,
Zubats has outplayed Christian Brown.
I will say though, in general, like the Nuggets are playing well below their normal, and I guess maybe the Clippers are playing above, or just
At their consistent level.
The Nuggets, like it's to me looking at that as like the way that they have been in this series is different than the ranking of players. But whatever. But the main point is that Harrison did such a bad job.
Yeah, it was me. It was only me. I'll take the.
What a homer.
I'll
Are you
take the
guys
fall.
enjoying any of these other series?
No.
I kind of guessed that with you. Harrison, is there anything you're enjoying?
honestly-
I'm excited for Lakers Wolves tonight.
Yeah,
That's easy. I mean, I just because it's all Schadenfreude.
yeah. Lakers Wolves for sure, and Warriors Rockets been okay.
Yeah.
But,
What do you guys think of that OKC game last night? Did you see it with John Morant getting hurt? Lou
Well, it
Dort?
was on TNT while we were on NBA TV, so I did not see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. While we were on the
So it
Hallmark
was kind
channel.
of a viral injury that happened. John Morant's
I
out
saw
for the year.
it. People are like, "Oh my God, Lou Dort is pretty obviously not a dirty play."
So I agree that I don't think, and I said so as much today, but here's the one thing. There are guys that just seem to always hurt everyone. And Dort is one of those ones. I don't think he was
Yeah.
trying to
Not
hurt
at
him.
all.
Draymond, Dort, like
I don't think he was trying to hurt him, but he also just seems to have something about him that is
He's
always
a bull-
running
he's
into
a
people
bull,
midair.
right.
And it's just a little weird. But I'm with you that I just think he was like, run, contest, run.
Of course, yeah.
And also the other part of this is John Morant does try to dunk over everyone. He doesn't try
John
to dunk
Morant
around.
also puts himself in position.
That's
to
what
get
I'm
hurt.
saying. John Morant didn't try to finish around or do this.
Right.
Like, he was like, I'm going to jump over
Right.
him to
Legit
dunk on
over
him.
him.
Didn't he say he's not gonna dunk anymore?
yeah, he did. We're
That
gonna
was
get
a
a
couple
re
weeks ago.
Yeah, we're gonna get a re up on that. He
Literally.
also said that he was gonna adhere to the many fines and scoldings that he received.
Detroit, New York has been fun.
That's good. Yeah.
That one's good.
I mean, listen, I will be into the next round.
Will
if,
you?
if the Nuggets are no longer part of, I was knocking. I was knocking
I
for
have
the
not
moaning
watched
man.
any of that series.
I can't bring myself because my diaper is so dirty. I cannot bring myself to watch
Literally.
another game
Yeah.
until I'm washed anew.
I did watch a little of Boston Orlando a couple nights ago.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah,
Orlando,
I
man.
probably won't watch another one of those.
Again, the KCP thing, man, like that team plays unbelievable defense. If Denver makes a trade in the offseason, we were talking about this today, me and Miro at lunch.
Ooh.
If they make a trade, you always have to find a team
Try
that
to
is-
get KCP?
They're just that would actually be
Well,
hilarious.
you know
Can you
what?
imagine if we traded Mike
Jeff
for
Green.
KCP?
You know
Jeff
what?
Green going to his 50th
You know what?
year.
I was gonna say it's actually not the worst deal. But Orlando is like
Only 2 years left on his deal after this.
right now. Denver needs like two-way players or defense or this or that. Orlando needs shooting because they do everything else well, and he could be like, "Well, Mike can shoot."
Yeah.
like it
Right.
could be a thing.
He's really
I don't
good
know.
at it, yeah.
He's really good at it.
They
So
got Gary Harris sitting there too.
you watch them; they're the worst watch in
Oh,
the NBA.
God.
Orlando Magic,
Really?
They're really rough. They just can't score, man.
Yeah.
They play like we're talking about. Jokic has no spacing.
They play like the Nuggets bench unit.
Only imagine if Jokic was Carmelo. That's what they're giving. That's what there is.
Yeah.
They have a giant guy. We got
another
8
one.
more seconds. Oh,
No,
have
we
another
got another one. We got another one. Let me see. I saw this one come in. This is a good one. From Kyle M. Hey, D-Line. What up, my guy?
Hit
What
that.
up?
We got a video from Vogt we can play to end the show and get time.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, dude, please.
Oh, we
Anything
do?
to get us out of here.
I'm very curious what this is. A video from Vogt.
Here at Marina Del Rey, where the Nuggets are staying, they just wrapped up a film session, and we got to speak with head coach David Adelman, and he gave us some updates on how that film session went after a 34-point blowout loss in Game 3. I imagine there was a lot to cover. He said it was a productive film session with some productive conversations. First and foremost, guys owned the lack of physicality. I'd imagine it would be hard not to in that film session. But Adelman had this to say: tactics and schemes don't win you playoff series. They can help. But we have to change our physicality and mentality. We weren't physical, and then we were reactive. And when you're reactive, you start committing fouls. We have to set the tone. Our physical nature has to geek up, and it wasn't good enough yesterday. I find that an interesting note from Adelman, who I think has been juxtaposed as a real X's and O's guy, as opposed to Michael Malone, who I think kind of speaks in some of these more general terms. But Adelman is insisting that it's not about adjustments right now. If they make one, they have to execute better anyway. So get their head in the game physically, take a deep breath on offense, get themselves back in it. He has asked these guys to communicate with each other a lot, and with intercommunication inside a locker room, I think can come tension. I asked Adelman if tension has arisen and how he thinks the groups navigated it. He said, I don't mind the tension. Guys shouldn't be giving each other a hug after that game. Yeah, there's tension. Guys are going at it a little bit, but through that, there can be some really good conversations, and there were today in the film session. A lot of good to great teams find themselves at a crossroads where things get tight, where they're no longer kind of riding out the peak of their golden era. And it's a defining moment for that team. Who are you? Who do you become on the other side of these conversations? The Nuggets are certainly at that crossroads now. Some injury notes. Michael Porter Jr., David Adelman said, look, if he's available, he is playing. Porter did say maybe he shouldn't. Adelman seemed to be very decisive that he wants him out there to stretch the floor. And he said, look, everyone's hurt right now. Aaron's hurt. Russell Westbrook's hurt. Russell Westbrook is actually still questionable with left foot inflammation. You may have heard it was his hip. Not the case. It is his foot. Lastly, they feel like this series isn't over. They are aware of the perception that maybe not just this season, but the era has reached its end. They think it's 2-1. The Clippers won one game in Denver. The Nuggets still feel they can do the same.
We all silly like the mayor.